Hi, everybody. I just want to talk to you a little about my children's book called Rescue Angels. The Lord gave me this book some years ago. And, we get a lot of prayer requests into our End Time Handmaidens headquarters here at Engelthal. People phone in with prayer requests. And there was one that really, really touched our hearts because this mother phoned in because her 4-year-old had been gang raped by some teenage boys. He was a 4-year-old boy. And then this child received that spirit of perversion. And as they left, a friend of hers left their little daughter with the boy to play together, and they were having coffee together, and they heard screaming, and they heard this little boy abusing this little girl in the same way that he had been. And that prayer request just tore at my heart. And we wept over that for ages, but I couldn't get it off my heart. We prayed and prayed for that child, both of those children. And actually that story did end well because the mother of that child, we contacted her, and she brought the child to one of our conferences, and that child was delivered. We prayed for that child, was delivered, and God did a glorious healing. But I woke up one morning after I'd been up all night praying for that child, and the Lord began to speak to me, and He downloaded this children's book as a prophetic word to me. I just went on and on with the story as the Holy Spirit was giving it to me. I just wrote it down. As I was sitting in bed, I had my notebook. I was just writing it down. And it's the story of an abducted child. One that could be sold into sex trafficking or sacrificed on Satanist altars. So this story shows the angelic protection and the interaction between the angels and the child. I just want to read a little part to you which talks about the way that the angels interacted with this little boy. His name is David. It does have a few pictures in it. The man, this is after David was abducted. The man led David to a small room, threw him inside, then shut and locked the door. The room had a bed underneath a heavily barred window, and in the corner was a toilet. David shook with fear. "Mommy, Mommy," he sobbed. He climbed up onto the bed and curled into a little ball. Suddenly, he knew that there was someone at the foot of his bed, and he sat up in shock. He got even more of a surprise when he saw who it was. It was an angel, just his size, and he looked just like a little boy. The angel was kneeling on the floor with his elbows on the bed and his chin in his hands, looking at David with a great deal of curiosity. His golden curls were tousled, as if God himself had just ruffled his hair as he sent him on his mission to take care of David in answer to David's mother's prayers. The angel was a little one, so that David would not be too scared. The angel smiled at David, looking at him. "Why are you shaking all over like a jellyfish?" he asked. "Why are you so scared, David? Don't you know that your mommy is praying for you and asked our Father to send angels to look after you? Don't you remember you asked God for his angels too?" And the little angel fluttered his wings as if to emphasize his point. David stared at the angel in amazement. He looked awfully little to fight that big man. So he began to cry again. The angel looked at him and frowned thoughtfully. This is going to be a hard one. Jesus, please open his eyes. Jesus touched little David's eyes, wiping away his tears. When David looked up, his eyes widened about as far as they could. He blinked and he looked again. Standing in a corner of the room was a great big angel, as tall as the ceiling. He carried a shield in one hand with love written across it, and a sharp sword in the other. On his head was a helmet made out of silver and gold. On his chest was a vest of silver and gold sandals were on his feet. His eyes were very, very kind, but also quite stern. David stood on the bed and peered right into the angel's eyes to see if they had the same light that was in his mommy's eyes. And sure enough, there it was. So that's just a little reading from this book. I want to show you the beautiful illustration of that huge, big angel. Hopefully you can see it. So I know the story is going to bless and encourage your children. It's got a little bit about tongues in here. And teach them that when they pray, things happen. And God sends his angelic messengers to answer our prayers. God bless you. And may this day be one glorious, holy convocation in your life. Thank you for listening to me. Goodbye.